to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle.
A great awakening there's something to that.
Sure.
You know, I remember people praying for revival, and then it was just really a bunch of great singing. You know, just a happy singing time.
Yep.
Happy singing time. No, we want people to be awakened to the truth.
Yep.
And if the word revival means something better to you, then you by all means use that one.
All right, let me get the lyrics up here.
Who am I that the highest king would wear? I was lost, but he brought me in. Oh, his love for me. Oh, his love for me. Who the sun sets free. Oh, is free indeed. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. Free at last, he has is free indeed. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me. I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me. And you, I'm a child of God. Yes, I am. Woo!
All right. I love that song.
I'll tell you what, we're going to play one more. We're doing some news, and then maybe two more at the end of the show. We'll see how it works out.
Okay.
All right, because we want to bring the fire. All right? So if you guys didn't have a chance to watch Serge's testimony on Chasing Mary.
How do I get rid of this ad? I can't.
I don't know.
Wow, this page has a ton of ads.
Try a different one. There's more. There's way more. Serge's testimony on Chasing Mary, Finding Jesus. It's one of the most powerful testimonies, one of the most powerful shows we've ever done. And at the end, we talked about, I just read in Jeremiah how God says, if you were really a prophet of me, you would know that my words are like fire and like a hammer.
This is not the right song.
Third day. Yeah,
I know. I've got Third Day in there. I thought. No, I don't.
So, this is a song from my youth when there wasn't very many good Christian songs. And I would play this song over and over and over again. And this is kind of
Hang on.
set the stage.
Oh my gosh. Can't wait for trying clothes.
Third day, consuming fire. Here we go. That's what we need. Jesus to come. His power. Set this place on fire. Send your spirit, Savior. Rescue from the Maia. Show your servant favor. Yesterday was a day that I was alone. Now I'm in the presence of Almighty God. Yes, I got. He is a consuming fire and the flames burn down deep in my soul. Yes, I got. He is a consuming fire and he reaches inside and he melts down this cold heart of stone. He's a fire. Set this place on fire. Send your spirit, Savior. Rescue from fire. Show your servant favor. Yesterday was a day that I was alone. Now I'm in the presence of Almighty God. Yes, I got. He is a consuming fire and the flames burn down deep in my soul. Yes, I got. He is a consuming fire and he reaches inside and he melts down this cold heart of stone. He is a fire. He is a fire. Did you realize that inside of you there is a flame? Did you ever try to let it burn? Let it burn. yes, our God, He is a consuming fire, and the flames burn down deep in my soul. Yes, our God, He is a consuming fire, and He reaches inside and He melts down this cold heart of stone. He is a fire. He is a fire. He is a fire. Send your spirit, Señor. Let your fire burn away all the chaff. Father God, set our country on fire again, Lord God, the gospel, truth, hallelujah. Yes, our God, He is a consuming fire, and the flames burn down deep in my soul. Yes, our God, He is a consuming fire, and He reaches inside and He melts down this cold heart of stone. He's a fire. He is a fire. He's a fire.
All right. We don't have a name for this guitar. I feel like she should have a name. He or she should have a name. It's just the Montana Gold. Hand me the gold. Hand over the gold.
Hand over the gold.
Okay.
I'm ready to keep going. I feel the anointing all over me right now. I don't want to stop. Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because He has anointed me to preach the gospel to you and bring the truth to you. So that's what we gonna do. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. All right.
Where else can you go
I can't help sometimes
to get
sounding
the
like a Pentecostal
news
preacher.
and church all in one fell swoop?
I think
Nowhere.
I am thinking that it's better for me on Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Because I don't know.
That makes sense, but okay.
It don't make no sense, girlfriend, but the video not playing.
Oops, sorry.
There they
This
go.
this is why I spend forever getting the camera set up before we go live, so that I don't have to do it in the middle of the show. Okay, there we go.
I gotta go. Connect to the Wi-Fi, man.
Okay. Or it could just be that the internet's going slow. It's been kind of choppy all around today.
Hey, reload the page one more time. All right, Jimmy Dornan. I want to bring you Jimmy Dornan just to sum up the facts on the Trump side after the week of public impeachment hearings. I want to sum it up and go backwards so you guys can know the craziness going on. There's a new Republican star. Her name is Stefanik. Elisa Stefanik, and the Dems are so upset they have tried to trend on Twitter.
Whether you're on Wi-Fi or
cancel Elise. That's because I'm still not on the Wi-Fi. I am not connected. Let's try again.
Okay.
Here we go. They got to connect to the Wi-Fi. Connect to the Wi-Fi. All right, we're gonna go to this article here why my Wi-Fi is connecting. How Republicans won phase one of impeachment. Round one. Ding, ding, ding.
Wow.
The first phase of impeachment did not go well for Democrats. Indeed, it needed to be a time when support for the inquiry impeachment grew. Instead, it shrank. And if you look at the recent poll numbers, America is actually, for the first time, polls have showed Trump beating everybody.
Great.
This is where they bring the stank.
Got the good news.
They got the good news. The pit that they dig for you, they've fallen in themselves. It's like watching them just, it's literally you're trying to keep them from shooting themselves in the foot, because there's one thing about us mega type people, I do believe, and I can speak for most of us.
Okay.
We want a fair fight.
Yeah.
We don't like watching anybody fighting with a hand tied about their back, even Joe Biden, because you know what? They tie their own hands, and it's funny watching them. You know, the Democrats have tied their own hands. They've done, and you know what? We're going to need it, because they've got them voting machines all rigged. Two elections.
They do.
Kentucky governorship. Oh, everybody down the list. Republican attorney general, Republican. And then suddenly they want a governor, a Democrat governor. That doesn't make sense.
Everybody votes down the line, man. That's how people vote.
All right. With the likely conclusion of Representative Adam Schiff's impeachment proceedings, it's worth taking a step back and looking at how things went for the majority Democrats and the minority Republicans. I want you guys to see the people that Adam Schiff had.
Shifty shift. That's what Trump calls him.
Here's so hard to follow. If you guys can follow, you don't even really need to know all these details. Supposedly there was a whistleblower. His name is Eric Charmella. He overheard something. And then there's this list of people. This guy Taylor, Yovanovitch, Kent, Hill, Sondland, Volker, Vindman, Williams, Morris, Cooper, Hill.
Nada.
Didn't witness anything. Didn't know quid pro quo. Nothing. Nothing.
Quid pro quo,
Not one of them could say definitively that they saw a quid pro quo, which is what this whole thing was about.
Right.
Supposedly holding
no quid, no pro, no quo.
Holding up money from the Ukraine. And here's the
now there was the one dude, Sondland.
He witnessed nothing.
He witnessed nothing.
He saw nothing. I know
but
nothing.
He is convinced that everybody just knew.
All right, so Democrats ideally would have started their inquiry with credible bipartisan support and run things in such a way that public opinion developed in their favor. Public opinion would build pressure on Republican members towards an impeachment vote that had even stronger bipartisan credibility. That did not even come close to happening to begin with. Not only was the vote to begin proceedings not bipartisan, there was bipartisan opposition to it, meaning some Democrats voted against the proceedings.
Exactly.
Polling initially looked promising for impeachment, with many media outlets attempting to claim significant bipartisan support for inquiry and removal, but then the polling moved in the wrong direction for Democrats. Emerson polling showed the support for impeachment flipped since October. From 48% support with 44 opposing to now 45% opposed and 43 in support. Among key independents, the switch was even more pronounced. In October, 48% supported impeaching Donald Trump with 39% opposed. Now 49% of independents oppose impeachment with only 34% supporting it. Truth. Shining the truth. What the Democrats have done, what big tech has censored us to do, big tech, the Democrats have done for us.
Sure.
They paraded out. See, what we used to do before the censorship was the Democrats would come out with a talking point and we would share it all over social media and people would see it. Well, now they shut all of us down and we can't share and it doesn't go anywhere. So the Democrats come out and they do it for us. So I don't know whether to thank them or just to step out of the way and be like, whatever.
What, though? It reminds me of the scripture where it says that God paraded him about and made a show of him openly.
Now,
they have paraded themselves about, making a show of themselves openly.
Without Devin Nunes and Elise Stefanik and Jim Jordan, it wouldn't have gone as well because they're shining the light on the lies. But
like
still,
dogs with a bone.
A new Gallup poll shows that Trump's approval has ticked up 2 points since the impeachment drama began, with 50% of Americans opposed to it and 48% in support. Henry Olsen notes that Gallup polls all adults, not just registered voters, meaning that the poll of registered voters would have Trump's job approval even higher and impeachment opposed closer to 52-48. And not only are no Republicans expected to join with Democrats in an eventual impeachment vote, some members expect the bipartisan consensus against it to grow. Republicans, by contrast, needed to aim for bipartisan opposition to the impeachment proceedings, keep their members in line, make the case that impeachment proceedings lack fairness, and that concern about Ukrainian corruption was legitimate. They managed to do all of that. Here's why things went well for the Republicans in phase one of the impeachment. I'm going to give you videos, hopefully, as my computer decides to kick it into gear.
Is it really just phase one, though? Like, what's left?
It was completely unclear. Well, this was supposedly the hearings, and then I guess they can go to a vote. But the Republicans actually found. Now, I'm going to see that. Hopefully, this will come about. The minority leader in the House found a little rule that says that on the last day, that the minority can call whoever they want. See,
no way.
Schiff has been blocking who the minority is wanting to bring forward. There's one little rule. They get 1 day to call their own witnesses. So we're going to see where that goes. I know.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Before we get to the politics of how they were played, this is from Molly Hemingway. Thank her for this article. Played by the Republicans and Democrats, it should be noted that President Donald Trump has not been credibly accused of committing any crime, much less a high crime or a misdemeanor. It's almost shocking that Trump, of all people, keeps managing to do well on this score. Yet, as with the Russian collusion hoax, in which he was accused of being a traitor to his country, the lack of evidence for the charges against him is his ultimate saving grace. What the charge is just keeps changing, of course.
Wait, can I interrupt there right there?
Yeah.
She says the lack of evidence is his saving grace.
Yeah.
That kind of infers, and I understand that she's, writing this sympathetically, but it kind of infers that there is evidence, it just hasn't shown up. The lack of evidence being his saving grace is because there is no evidence. Because he didn't do anything. Carry on.
So the whistleblower initially suggested a campaign finance violation arising from a call with Trump, with the president of Ukraine. That morphed into a quid pro quo for military aid to Ukraine, then extortion, then bribery, then obstruction of justice, then back to a quid pro quo, but this time only a quid pro quo for a White House meeting.
Now, if you do this, you get to be first up on the Ukraine tour to the White House, buddy. All you got to do is investigate my political opponent, put your neck on the line, do what I say, and then you get your own expense paid trip to the White House to visit me and talk to me. Now, how does that sound?
So the hearings were very boring and very
were
complicated.
Awful. Unless Jim Jordan and Stefanik were speaking.
They were soul-crushingly boring. The testimony was lengthy. The discussion was complicated and bureaucratic. The questions weren't particularly interesting, and the answers they elicited weren't particularly compelling. They were just boring. Media outlets did all they could to bolster Schiff's show and ran the impeachment hearings nonstop. I was so frustrated because I couldn't even watch Tucker Carlson because they ran that into his show a couple times.
Tucker.
Democrats didn't want Jerry Nadler chairing the impeachment since he had so completely botched the initial impeachment effort. That was the Robert Mueller probe. And he
didn't botch it. It wasn't there to actually go anywhere. You can't mess up something that's non-existent. Carry on.
Exactly. Having Robert Mueller be a testify actually was not a very good idea. And the confused Mueller destroyed the chance of convincing the country that he had run the probe that bore his name and had morphed into an attempt to nail Trump for vehemently fighting the false charge that he was a traitor. So Schiff had run the Democrats' efforts in the Russia conspiracy theory that peddled on for several years. During this time, his team leaked like sieves to compliant media such as CNN. So what I'm going to play here is actually first... Go ahead.
In the recipe for the Buskin cookies, the secret ingredient is macaroon paste.
Oh.
I need macaroon paste.
Oh.
Sorry, it just came to me and I had to tell you while I remembered. Macaroon paste.
Okay, are you ready?
For a sugar butter
before
cookie.
You guys go and you see, here we have the media talking about bombshells and bombshells and bombshells.
Bombshell today.
Wait.
Bombshells. I don't particularly care for the nickname Shelly. I'll just tell you. I don't anybody that take offense to if you've ever called me that. It's fine. I don't care for it. However, I think that I could be a bombshell. Like you could call me bombshell, not like beautiful, but I mean like breaking news, like this. Bombshell, explosive.
To be another explosive week in the impeachment inquiry.
We're bracing for potentially an explosive opening statement.
Those are some of the fireworks from today's explosive testimony. Another explosive day of testimony.
Explosive.
Heading into a potentially explosive week of testimony.
The most explosive thing.
This is a slow motion explosion.
Major breaking news.
Slow motion. Wait, stop. Slow motion explosion. In physics.
That is
It's a
an
non-existent
oxymoron.
thing, okay?
That's an oxymoron.
There is no slow motion explosion without the effects from cameras and television recording and faking news.
My joke is always
this is the slow motion explosion.
Like military intelligence. That's my joke.
That's funny. That's really funny.
The explosive, truly explosive opening remarks. I can't emphasize how explosive this is. How explosive, very explosive.
And I think it will be
How explosive, Michelle?
Very explosive. Very slow motion explosive.
explosive.
Wow. The first day of public testimony in the impeachment inquiry, opening with a bombshell.
We got the bombshell. Yesterday was a bombshell.
This has to be one of those bombshell days.
A bombshell, and it was bombshell testimony. Bombshells.
One bombshell after another.
Bombshell after bombshell.
Stunning testimony.
The stunning conversation he heard, it was stunning. It was historic.
Like it started small, and now everyone's running, screaming no, like apocalypse now.
That was an oh-you-know-what moment for Republicans. Now, a few hours later, from the bombshell being detonated.
The fuse was lit then, the bomb went off
Mom, that's
today,
not
but it
just,
wasn't
that's
the
not the
only bomb
focus.
that went
That's
off.
just the internet.
Oh, that stinks.
We're having bad internet right today. I don't know why, but we are.
I wonder if we should switch to Spectrum.
There's been
I
a
don't know.
bombshell.
Well, this is
I
the
would say
first time
nearly
it's
every,
been like this.
Nearly every witness has delivered some sort of bombshell.
Here's the other bombshell today. Fiona Hill, I mean, that was, I know we keep saying
can try
bombshell,
Wi-Fi,
but
but I
it
don't know
is
if it'll-
Fiona Hill who is the bomb.
She's going to drop a bombshell. The bombshell.
Bombshell.
The following breaking news is another round of explosive impeachment testimony.
The most explosive information that we have to
If I
date.
switch over, it might drop.
So explosive.
There was a big bombshell. Obviously, this is a bombshell. This is a bombshell. Bombshell.
Bombshell?
Bombshell, obviously. What do you think, Paul?
It's certainly a bombshell.
So we have these things that keep getting called bombshells.
It's a very explosive charge.
I don't think we can overemphasize. This could be very, very explosive.
We're clear on Facebook.
That covers it.
Oh, so it's YouTube.
That covers everything.
I'm going to
Listen, today
reconnect
was
back to my thing then. Pause right there, because I don't want to get away from that. But, Mom, it's clear on Facebook, so it has nothing to do with anything other than...
YouTube is censoring us, so we're fuzzy on YouTube.
Right. We're also clear on Periscope.
YouTube.
So, but we are fuzzy on YouTube, so I don't know what to do
I
about
wonder
that.
if there's a way to fix that.
I have no idea. But, okay, so while we're watching this, I see they keep using the word like stunning, which you can see that the talking point gets disseminated to all the news, the fake news media. But it was stunning. It was stunning that there was nothing.
That's true.
Absolutely nothing. The bombshell was that there was nothing.
Yeah.
So yes, there was your whole efforts exploded in your face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. I think you've got that nailed down. Let's see if Jimmy baby will come up here. Jimmy. Fox News clip won't play.
Can you close it out and bring it back up?
I did like 5 times.
No.
Yeah, I did. I kept refreshing it.
That's really frustrating.
We'll try over here. We'll try to bring it up, but that's okay. I've got more. I think I have more clips that will.
But I don't have any problem with any of you that want to switch over to Facebook to watch it live. Watch us live there just because, just so it's clear and crisp. You're more than welcome.
Okay, so let me start with some of these clips from this week. This is Devin Nunes, the low-rent Ukrainian sequel to the Russian probe.
To Act 2 of today's circus, ladies and gentlemen, no witnesses have identified any crime or impeachable offense committed by the president, but that doesn't matter. Last week, the Democrats told us his infraction was asking for a quid pro quo. This week, it's bribery. Who knows what ridiculous crime they'll be accusing him of next week. What we will witness today is a televised theatrical performance staged by the Democrats. Ambassador Taylor
Very
and Mr.
bad
Kent,
one, like a
I'd
high
like to
school
welcome
musical.
you here. I'd like to congratulate you for passing the Democrats' Star Chamber auditions held for the last weeks in the basement of the Capitol. It seems you agreed, witting or unwittingly, to participate in a drama. But the main performance, the Russia hoax, has ended, and you've been cast in the low-rent Ukrainian sequel. So what exactly are the Democrats impeaching the president for? None of us here really know, because the accusations change by the hour. This spectacle is doing great damage to our country. It's nothing more than an impeachment process in search of a crime. As I mentioned, Chairman of this committee claims that democracy is under threat. If that's true, it's not the president who poses the danger. For those of you at home, it's time to change the channel, turn down the volume, or hide the kids, put them to bed. Now I yield to Mr. Schiff for Storytime Hour. I thank the gentleman, as always, for his remarks.
And why is everybody in the room laughing about this? Because they all know it's a joke. It's a sham. It's hilarious. It's so stupid. Wow. I don't even know. I love Devin Nunes. I mean, can you imagine the guts it takes to say that kind of stuff? And not even guts. I think you just have to be fed up. I'm done. I'm through. This is ridiculous. I'm so over it.
Democrats have never got over the fact that this new guy who's never been in this town, never been in politics, this new guy came in here and has shaken this place up, and that drives them crazy. They've never accepted the will of 63 million Americans. They've never accepted the fact that Donald Trump won an electoral college landslide, and they are trying to do everything they can. And it was first FBI investigation, then it was the Mueller investigation, now it's this. They're trying to do everything they can to, as Mr. Green, Democrat Representative Al Green said, impeach him because they know he's going to win re-election. So that's the unfortunate position they put our country in. I thought Dr. Hill's statement where she said, we got to quit this kind of stuff that is tearing our country apart. That is so true.
Who punched Jimmy in the face? What is happening
is not good for our culture, not good for our nation, and yet the Democrats do not care. They are bound and determined to do whatever it takes to get after this president. And again, I think the American people see through it. They see that the facts are on the president's side, and they know this process has been entirely unfair. And
press play again.
I don't know where it goes next. I don't know.
I think that Jim Jordan and I could be related. Like, look at us. Look at us. We look like the same. We even have like the same jawline. We could be the same person. I am Jim Jordan.
We'll just have to wait and see, and we'll take some questions. Democrats and
okay, his nose is totally different than mine.
Okay, so here is this is a clip. I'm just bringing out some highlights so you guys don't have to kill yourself. This is Elise Stefanik.
I've got to see if I can find that meme.
And she, at the very end, I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to, the punchline is, was there a quid pro quo?
Right.
Okay.
Mr. Morrison, you were on that call. And
okay, so I'm trying to keep the players together, guys. They brought in a list of people. We're not going to show you clips from all of them, okay? This was one of the Democrats' witnesses who was supposedly on the call.
There was no mention of withholding aid on the call, correct?
That's correct, Congresswoman.
And there was no quid pro quo, correct?
Correct.
No bribery?
Correct.
No extortion?
Correct.
And Ambassador Volker, I presume...
Tell us the background of Elise just real quick. We didn't know who she was before.
We didn't know. She's actually been in Washington her entire adult career. She was
woman ever elected to Congress.
She's been a congresswoman for the past. She's been elected 3 times. Okay, she will be up for election. They get elected every 2 years for her 4th term in 2020. That's a really, really big deal. Now, she's kind of edgy. I don't really want to throw my whole hat in with her yet because she did flip off the camera after the hearings, but she could just be a worldly person. I can't fault her for that, but I think it's uncongresswoman-like of her to do that. That being said, she worked under the the Bush administration for, I don't remember, it's like one of Bush's
who's a staff member for
what's the second to the Secretary of State, something like that, like underneath of that, and she was a staffer there. And so she doesn't look old enough to go back that far, but she does. And then she took a step back from politics, worked for the family business, and then went back into, and she's a representative from New York.
She was a speechwriter for Paul Ryan.
Oh, that's right.
As president.
Yeah, not just a speechwriter. She was
ran for vice president
under Mitt Romney. Yeah, and she was kind of in charge of managing the debates. Not exactly a speech writer. So she's been in this swamp for a long time. We're just now hearing from her.
She's a Harvard grad.
Yes.
I assume you got a readout of the call. Is that correct?
Very terse readout, but yes.
In this tertiary readout of the call, Ambassador, from the U.S. participants, was there any reference to withholding aid?
No, there was not.
Any reference to bribery?
No, there was not.
Any reference to quid pro quo?
No, there was not.
Any reference to extortion?
No, there was not.
And I presume you also got feedback from your Ukrainian counterparts as to how the call went. Did they mention the withholding of aid?
No, they did not.
Did they mention any quid pro quo?
No, they did not.
And did they mention any bribery?
No, they did not.
And in fact, the day after the call, you met with President Zelensky. This would be on July 26th.
That's correct.
And in that meeting, he made no mention of quid pro quo.
No.
He made no mention of withholding the aid.
No.
He made no mention of bribery.
No.
So the fact is the Ukrainians were not even aware of this hold on aid. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And in the coming weeks, you were in touch with Ukrainians as part of your official duties. And this included talking to Ukrainians over the phone, in person, on text. And the Ukrainians never brought up an investigation into the Bidens. Is that correct?
That's correct.
They never brought up the withholding of the aid.
That's correct.
They never brought up quid pro quo or bribery.
Let me bring up the aid. They did bring that up after the Politico article appeared on the 29th.
I'm going to get to that. But until the Politico article, they did not bring it up. And you said in your closed-door deposition, quote, "It never came up in conversation with them, and I believe they had trust in me that they would have asked if that was really what they were worried about." Is that correct?
That is correct.
And as you pointed out, the Ukrainians never even knew their foreign aid was on pause until the article was published in Politico in August.
That's correct.
So they didn't know during the call.
That's correct.
And in fact, you had to correct Chairman Schiff on this timeline in the closed-door deposition. The chairman of this committee asked you, quote, "When they became aware that military assistance was being withheld for a reason you couldn't explain, no one could explain, weren't they under even greater pressure to give the president what he asked for on the call?" And you answered, Ambassador Volker, quote, "To my knowledge, the news about a hold on security assistance did not get into Ukrainian government circles as indicated to me by the current foreign minister, then diplomatic advisor, until the end of August." Is that your testimony?
Yes, it is.
And Chairman Schiff also got the facts wrong again when he asked you this, quote, "At the point they learned their aid was paused, wouldn't that give them added urgency to meet the president's request on the Bidens?" And you answered, Ambassador Volker, quote, "I think the Ukrainians felt like they are going in the right direction, and they had not done anything. They had not done anything on an investigation," end quote. Isn't it the case, Ambassador Volker, at one point Chairman Schiff said to you, when you were truthfully testifying, quote, "Ambassador, you're making this much more complicated than it has to be," end quote. It's page 127 from the deposition. Is that correct?
I remember that.
But the truth is the facts are indeed not complicated. And I'm going to close out with two questions for the both of you. Did Ukraine open an investigation into the Bidens? Mr. Morrison.
Not to my knowledge, ma'am.
Ambassador Volker.
Not to my knowledge either.
Did either of you ever have any evidence of quid pro quo? Mr. Morrison.
No, ma'am.
Ambassador Volker.
I did not.
Any evidence of bribery?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Any evidence of treason?
No, ma'am.
No evidence.
Look at that guy's face.
Wow,
the guy's face when he's asked to answer like treason, like I want you to go back and kind of see if you can see his face.
Hang on, wait, let me make you big. Wait, don't play it until I make you big. Okay, now I've got these lights here. Well,
any evidence of bribery?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Any evidence of
which
treason?
guy are we looking at?
No, ma'am.
This guy?
This one.
Okay, his
'Cause,
smiling face right
watch
there.
his face when the bribery question is asked. He's kind of bored, and then
evidence of quid pro quo.
Your head's in the way.
Ms. Morrison.
I just pushed you. I'm sorry.
Ambassador Volker.
I did not.
Any evidence of bribery?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Bored.
Any
Now
evidence
watch.
of treason?
No, ma'am.
No evidence of treason.
And now he just kind of smirks.
That's great.
No, he's not treasonous. Come on, we're done here. Now,
so over.
Bye Bye Elise is still trending on Twitter
because they're trying to get rid of her.
Democrats, Rosie O'Donnell, Chelsea Handler, and Hollywood liberals are trying to get her out of New York 21. So I want to show you a campaign ad that she just created.
Stefanik did?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I just want to make sure that they're seeing it properly. And just step out of the way.
Tax and Tetra. The toast
That's
of
their
Tinseltown is back
opponent.
and more out of touch with the North Country than ever. What was a tasteless tweet to most Americans has liberal Hollywood elites.
George Conway, Kellyanne Conway's husband, is a jerk. And he tweeted out, Elise Stefanik is trash.
Like Rosie O'Donnell and Chelsea Handler, pulling out their black card and clicking donate all the way from their multi-million-dollar mansions. And while Tedra's cast of Hollywood's leading liberal supporters grows, Congresswoman Elise Stefanik is doing what she's always done, giving people who actually live and work in the North Country a voice in Washington. Farmers, veterans, students, small businesses, and families. Elise knows that Hollywood money and blue-checked Twitter profiles don't mean much where we're from, because this is the North Country, and that, it's just showbiz.
Well, okay, so one thing that is worth pointing out here is the fact that she's from New York, okay?
But Northern New York is so different.
It is. And I think that's what I wanted to point out. I mean, these people, so I think we throw the East Coast into a big lump. And the fact that she has been consistently, I went and looked, you can look at her Wikipedia page, and she consistently beat the opponent by a very large margin every single time. Now, granted, we're talking about her getting like 150,000 votes and the opponent getting like 90. Well, that's not a lot of people, 150,000 people. But it is a lot for them to try to fake 60,000 votes.
Sure, but I also think that now that she's on the board, she's actually going to get more support, and people maybe who wouldn't have voted for her, didn't know who she was, now they do.
Exactly.
And they're going to be like, that's my
Name
congresswoman.
recognition is everything. Oh, I know that name, Stefanik, and watching these hearings.
And then if your opponent is connected to Rosie O'Donnell, and some people just don't have a taste for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this week, Donald Trump, one of the witnesses said that he overheard the phone call. He was, somebody sitting next to him was on the phone, not on speaker,
Get out.
but talking loudly. And Donald Trump said, and I should bring it up, Donald Trump said, I've never been able to overhear a phone call from somebody, much less from across the room, when they're on the phone, unless they're on like speaker.
Right.
So Chris Cuomo decided to do it live on air. Now, this is the spoof from Carpe Dunkum. I'm just going to tell you, you can watch the full one online. She can't hear. So there's nothing going on. He's going to interpose Donald Trump's voice. This is a spoof, but there's nothing. He's tried to call his mom. Okay.
Theory from our president that he has really good hearing. Some would say the best hearing ever. And he's never been able to hear a phone call when it wasn't on speakerphone from anybody. So let's just play with that for a second. Mom, can you hear me?
What do you want? I keep hearing all these things. What do you want?
All right. So if I were holding the phone here, I'm with Dana Bash. You know how you're always telling me to let her talk because she's so smart and I shouldn't say so much. Can you just say hello?
I want nothing. I want no quid pro quo.
Mom, she probably can't hear me. Mom, can you hear me?
If you weren't fake news, you'd cover it properly.
I'm talking to you. Say hello to Dana Bash.
Hi, Mrs. Cuomo.
No, not you. Not you.
How are you?
You are fake news. And your mother is voting for Trump.
All right. So I can't hear your mother, Chris.
Go home to mom.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, what you need to do, I got to get a better reaction from you because you're going to see it. You're going to.
But hang on though, because this is really, I'm kind of hurting for Chris Cuomo a little bit, if that's even possible, because I'm thinking to myself, that has to be one of the biggest on-air flubs anybody has ever had.
It's one.
It's a flop. Yeah. You're trying to make a point instead of like, if he'd gone as an experiment, like, you know, hey, I want to see if you can. Let's just try this out.
I should have done the original first, but here we go.
Theory from our president that he has really good hearing. Some would say the best hearing ever. And he's never been able, when it wasn't on speakerphone, from anybody. So
this
let's
is the
just
most exciting
play with that
thing
for
of
a
this
second.
week.
Mom, can you hear me?
Besides the fart.
All right. So if I were holding the phone here, I'm with Dana Bash. You know how you're always telling me to let her talk because she's so smart and I shouldn't say so much. Can you just say hello? Mom, she probably can't hear me. Mom, can you hear me?
I heard her.
Yes, I hear you. When you talk to me, I hear you.
I'm talking to you. Say hello to Dana Bash.
Hi, Mrs. Cuomo. How are you?
All right. I can't
So you could hear her a little bit, though. Like, I heard her, but the phone was right next to her microphone.
It's not on speakerphone. It's regular phone. It's 2 feet away from Dana. She can hear my mother.
It's less than 2 feet. He literally held the phone up to her like this.
Right.
But he didn't have it to his face, to his ear that he was talking on the phone.
Right.
But no, she couldn't hear it. Her face was like, she didn't say, like, oh, I hear her. She's struggling to try to hear. Like, and the point is that guy was literally.
So we're going to try this experiment here at my house.
Ma, answer the phone.
I'm calling you for an experiment. Are you watching the show? I can hear Leah on the other end. Leah, can you hear Mom?
I can hear her.
You can hear Mom?
Right here, yeah.
Mom, say something again. Okay.
No, see, but I can.
Right.
I can totally hear that.
Okay. All right.
But he did this experiment and she couldn't hear. It was really hilarious.
Well, I think, and that's the thing. I have no problem. I'm not trying to prove a point.
Right.
I just wanted to know, and because I actually have heard people on the phone that were holding it next to their ear. So, I mean, why can't we just be like honest? Why do you need to like make a point?
Exactly. Why do you need to make a point?
We'll see you guys back here on Sunday, either premiered or whatever. Maybe we'll do a show tomorrow. Who knows? All right, I'm pressing the ending here. Thank you for the letter, Simon, and thank you for the ham, Robert Bone. I'm very excited about that, like really excited about it. So, God bless, and I'm pressing the ending right now. Bye, guys.
I was